Whoo-wee, them burritos went right through me. Chef Stone here on day 61 of the year 2016 at magicreview.com, talking way too much about what happens when he eats burritos. Yeah. So today we're looking at Thru by Daniel Bryan. That's right, the man with two first names, Daniel Bryan. For $35 you get one trick. Here is a version of the trick which is actually not taught on the DVD, but as we go along you'll see why that's not a big deal. Playing card, $1 million bill, and clearly the $1 million bill is behind said playing card, and I can just flip it around and push, and it actually penetrates right through the card, or the $1 million bill. Ooh, and you can slide it. Very scary, very scary. And then pull it, and it does not rip the bill, and you could hand that bill out. You could not hand out this card. And I did rip the bill right there. That's totally nothing to do with the trick, though. That was my clumsiness. And a real paper, like real actual money, would not rip like that. So, if you watch the ad trailer, what you'll see is him doing that with his iPhone or with his phone, or with like a credit card or like a loyalty card, you know, some kind of a plastic card. They mention in the ad copy that you could do it with a business card, which is true. I just didn't have. There's something extra you have to do if you're going to do it with your phone, and that's something extra. I didn't have the time or the opportunity to do it. I can't say too much else. You have to make a little trip to your office supply, your office store in your local area. And I just didn't realize that until it was too late. But that's okay, because I don't need to do that to know that this works. Secondly, so in the DVD, which we're going to talk in details here, but I'm giving you a brief overview. In the DVD, they show you how to make a gimmick with like a loyalty card or a credit card or whatever. But then they mention again the ad copy of business card, and I just thought, well, playing card, that's like it's the same thing. You can do it with the playing card, so I made a gimmick with the playing card. Just because it's easy and quick to do, it just took a couple of seconds. I could have done it with a business card, that would have worked too. I could have done it with a phone if I had a little bit more time. You can also do it with a dollar bill, so another dollar bill, so you have one bill passing through the other bill. Basically any kind of, I suppose you could do it with a pack of gum. Yeah, you could do it with this even. You'd have to just make a little simple gimmick, and it really is simple. It takes a minute or two. The only one that takes a little bit longer is the phone gimmick, but that's only because it requires a little trip to the office store, and you have to spend like $2. But any other, rectangular shaped object would work just fine. Really anything, I don't even have to be rectangular necessarily, just anything that you could, fit. I didn't, this is not gimmick, so I can't do it, but, anything that could be seen in the bill like this, whatever. You could use a note card, whatever, business card, what not. I have an idea of something I want to use that I'm not going to tell you. Neener. So, that's the big picture. Let's look at the details. I think we just covered effect in that. Method. The method is twofold. Onefold. It's a gimmick. You have to make the gimmick. It's very easy to make. Literally, like making the gimmick for the card, it took me, without exaggeration, probably less than a minute. And now this card is ready to go anytime, anywhere that I want to do this effect. Now, personally, if I were going to do this, I told you I have an idea of something to use. I'm not going to tell you that. But that idea aside, if I were going to use this in another way besides the one idea in my head that I'm not sharing, I would probably do the credit card method. Because then I can just keep the credit card in my wallet, borrow a bill, and bam, there you go. So, let's talk a little bit about each of the different things. If you're going to do the credit card method, you need two credit cards that are matching. Whereas business cards, you have 2 business cards. A playing card, you have 2 playing cards. Pack of gum, you'd need 2 packs of gums. 2 packs of gums. Packs of gum. Whatever. Post-it note, you need 2 of those. If you're going to do a bill through a bill, you'd need 2. In addition to the bill that's being penetrated, the penetrating bill, you'd need 2 of the penetrating bills to make your gimmick. Again, just takes a couple of seconds. Easy to do. The only one that's different is the phone. That one also takes a couple of seconds once you make your trip to the office store and spend the $2. Then it only takes a couple of seconds. You do not need a duplicate phone. So, anyway, so that's the way the gimmick works. So if you're looking for something that's pretty portable, this method is very good. It's very solid, you saw what the illusion looked like. Either you like that or you don't. But if you liked it, know that the method is stupid simple, easy to do. The gimmick is easy to make. It does almost all the work for you. And so there's method for you. Just keep in mind that whatever the object is that's penetrating through this bill. So if it's a card penetrating through this bill, you will need an extra card to make your gimmick. If it is a gum penetrating the bill, you'll need an extra gum to make your gimmick. Got it? If it's a llama penetrating your bill, A, why are you doing magic tricks with llamas? B, you'll need an extra llama. Who's got duplicate llamas? Nobody. So, stick to the basics, folks. All right, moving on. So that's method. Totally doable method. All skill levels may apply. Next, ad copy. So the ad copy, it's accurate, but it's misleading. Okay. Well, actually, there's one part that I'd say is inaccurate, but let's discuss them. Okay. So let's take the written ad copy first. The written ad copy makes a couple of claims. Claim number 1, it says everything can be examined at the end if you would like to. And the fact that they added that little caveat, if you would like to, makes me feel okay that that's a fair statement. Because the truth is, everything can be examined, but if I were to let you examine this card, I'd have to remove the gimmick from it before doing so. Now, removing the gimmick, I don't know how loud this is going to be, so I'm going to do it under the desk where hopefully there's no noise, and I'll talk a little bit louder. But bam, the gimmick is now off, and you could examine this card. So I'd have to just hold out the gimmick, right? And then putting the gimmick back on, super easy, right? So with the playing card, yeah, you could let it be examined. With the gum, I would say the same thing. You could let it be examined. The phone, same thing. But now let me tell you this. With the phone, getting the gimmick off is a little bit, it will depend on what kind of phone you have, what size phone you have. I have an iPhone 6 or 6S or whatever, not the Plus, but the smaller 6. And that it would be very easy to get the gimmick off. That's about a good size and shape for doing that. So that one's all pretty well true. The only one I'd say, if you're doing a bill through a bill, and so I can make this clearer, here's another. This one's just a torn bill, but if this is the effect where this is penetrating through, then this would be gimmicked. This is not, but it would be. And getting the gimmick on and off of this, getting it off of this is a little bit iffy. Getting it on is less iffy, but still iffy. So if you're penetrating a bill through a bill, I would say letting it be examined is not quite an option, not as easy of an option. The credit card would be easy to remove the gimmick, though I don't know that I want people handling my credit card. So maybe you're going to use like a loyalty card, your Blockbuster membership card or your Hollywood Video membership card. Those are useless for anything else. Maybe there's a good presentation in there that you could come up with about these, I don't know, something about Hollywood being out of business and falling through the money, something, I don't know, whatever. I'm not here to give you routines, folks. All right, so that statement that everything can be examined, I'd say is true. It's just frankly, I don't see the need. I honestly don't. Because once I pull this out and the bill doesn't rip, I can hold this card like this, even with the gimmick on it, unfold the bill, throw this card down, look at the rest of the cards, and hand this bill right out. That's their bill. They can keep it. Same with the credit card, especially if it is your credit card. It's very easy to be like, you ain't touching my credit card. Same thing with your phone. I just don't see a need to have that examined. But if you want to, the option's there. Okay, next it says everything can be borrowed. This one I'd say is not entirely true. So, could the card be borrowed? Yes, if they happen to be using the same deck that my gimmick's made out of. Okay? But the gimmick would have to match. Now, if you know that most people use red bicycles and blue bicycles, and you have a red and a blue gimmick, then maybe, yeah, you could borrow those. And it's easy to get the gimmick on and off. Credit card, no. You cannot do it with a borrowed credit card. Because, I mean, unless you have a duplicate of their credit card handy, no. Their business card, you could do it with their borrowed business card and just have a gimmick that's just sort of a generic gimmick that would match many business cards. But if they have like a green business card or something weird, then no. The money, technically, yes, you could do it with borrowed. So again, you'd borrow this bill, and this one would penetrate. You'd have to add a gimmick to this, and the gimmick would have to match the denomination. So if they hand you a $5 bill, you better have a $5 gimmick. And that's relatively doable, but again, with the money that's more flimsy and papery, it's not as simple to get the gimmick on and off. The phone, okay. Again, yes, technically you could do it with a borrowed phone, but that, I mean, everybody's got different phones. And so if your gimmick is made for an iPhone 6, it's not going to work on their Galaxy, whatever's the latest Galaxy, I don't know. It's, you know what I mean? So it's not going to work on their iPhone 5. It has to be an iPhone 6. That it has to be the same exact model of iPhone 6. So if you borrow, you know, you might have a gimmick that's ready made for your white iPhone 6, but you borrow a pink one. You know, it doesn't work. So unless you're going to be carrying around a whole buttload of gimmicks, I say borrowing an iPhone and doing it is not exactly practical and not really legitimate. So I will say the ad copy saying all the items can be borrowed is not a true statement. But it's roughly true. So I cut him a little bit of slack, but not a lot. Okay, just checking the notes here just to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, good. So, all right, then the video trailer says that you can start and end clean. Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, define start and define clean. Sorry, I sound like Bill Clinton there. What is. If I'm holding out something palmed, am I starting clean? I don't know. If you think yes, then yes, you can start clean. So you can borrow the bill always. The bill that stuff goes through is always ungimmicked and can always be borrowed. So you borrow the bill, so therefore it doesn't need to be examined because it's their bill. And then you can hand out the playing card. So maybe the structure would be hand out the playing card to be examined and then take it back. And while they're, then you say, do you have a bill I can borrow? While they're digging through their wallet for a bill, you add the gimmick to the playing card and then you're set. And so I'm adding the gimmick right now. And actually that's a little trickier than I thought it would be to get it exactly accurate. So I don't know. Maybe adding that's not as... There we go. Yeah. I'll just take a little practice. So, but now the gimmick's on there. So is that starting and ending clean? I don't know, because you're starting with something palmed. And then if you're going to end clean, then you're ending with something palmed. And so I don't know if I would consider that starting and ending clean. So it's iffy. And so let's look at the rest of them here. Oh yeah. So the video says it'll work on any phone. Okay. That's true. It's 100% true, but you might infer from that it means you can walk up to anybody and borrow any phone and do it. And that is not true. What they mean by that, I think, or whether they meant it or not, what I'm about to say is a true statement. Any phone can be gimmicked to do this trick. Any phone. Any smartphone. Like a flip phone or something like that would not work. Maybe. Probably not. But any kind of a smartphone that's sort of the flat screen kind of phones would be just fine. And so I think that's a fair statement to say any phone will work. It can be a little misleading because it sort of implies that you can just walk up and grab a phone and do it, and you cannot do that. You have to, whatever object is going to penetrate the bill, whatever's going to penetrate this bill, you have to have a gimmick that matches the object that's going to be penetrating. So that's add copy. The add copy is a little off, but I think overall it's pretty fair. There's a few parts that are a little bit misleading. Last but not least, product quality, which was crap. It's total crap. The production value was crap. The lighting was crap. The audio was crap. The teaching was crap. I don't know what it is with the Mystique Factory, but they don't use, like, if this is your television screen or your, in my case, computer screen, the video takes up part of the screen there. It's weird to do that backwards, but it doesn't take up the full screen, and so it's already smaller. The lighting, I mean, I could see the shadow of the cameraman behind the guy giving the instructions. Their studio, it looks like they're in a garage with a black curtain in the background and a little Mystique Factory banner on the side of them. Just terrible production quality. It did have a play all button, which was nice. The whole video was only about 40 minutes. And the teaching, oftentimes his hands were out of frame. Very often he would just sort of explain how to do something rather than actually showing you. However, the method is so stupid simple that this could have been, a 1 or 2 page downloadable PDF to explain how to do this. It's super, super simple. And so, $35 might be a little steep, frankly. But if you like the effect, and if you like the idea of being able to just carry something in your wallet, i.e. a credit card, or should I be using EG? Yes, EG, a credit card, or a gimmicked bill, or a pack of gum that's gimmicked, or something like that, carrying that around in your pocket or your wallet, and then you can borrow a bill and penetrate your object through their borrowed bill. If you like that, and you like the illusion that it looks like on camera that I showed you and that was in the trailer, then you'll be happy with this. The question is that worth $35 to you? That's it. I've given you every single possible detail I can think of to let you make the final decision. My final star verdict just on overall product solidness or lack thereof is 3.5 stars. Stone status of gem with a lowercase g. I wouldn't say a tiny g, but a lowercase g. So that's it for this one, folks. So, as I do every video, I shall beg you, por favor, click that button if it's there. If not, please subscribe somehow, some way. Whatever it takes, man, you can do it. Subscribe, thumbs up, like this video, share it out to all your social places. Tell your friends' friends. Tweet it. You know the drill, guys. And last but not least, in fact, last but most, listen to the random iTunes song of the moment, which is, oh man, what a great song. This is Midnight Struck. Where Were You in Midnight Struck by Bang Tango. That's another one of these bands that's kind of obscure. I didn't know much about them, but a friend of mine was getting rid of some of his CDs that he just didn't want anymore. He felt they were, he was kind of making I don't know if spiritual decision, but sort of a change in the type of music he was listening, and he just felt that some of it was not as uplifting as he would like. And so he gave me a bunch of his CDs, and I'm like, this stuff rocks, man. I don't know why you'd want to get rid of this stuff. I don't see anything downer about any of it. So anyway, this was one of them, though, Bang Tango. Midnight Struck. Great, killer, awesome tune. That's it, folks. Tune in tomorrow, day 62, where we review Dissolve by Francis Minotti. Until then, thank you for watching. Peace out.